The man in black! I need to find somewhere to hide, and fast.
High up in the air, out of sight, covered on all sides. The minecart was an ideal hiding place. Jenny peered over the edge of the minecart. She was confident the man in black wouldn't spot her, but she'd need to remain perfectly still. Even the slightest sound could give her away. Almost in the clear. Just a few more seconds of absolute silence.
Jenny! I just wanted to say, I think we had a really good breakthrough just now.
Shut up, shut up, shut up!
I can feel our friendship growing. I know it's a silly thing to say, but...
My luck is starting to run out. It won't be long before he reaches the jail and realizes my mom isn't there.
And something told her he wouldn't be very pleased.
Are you trying to get me killed?
Sorry. I just wanted to let you know I'm here for you whenever you need me.
That's very nice, Susie. But none of that matters if I'm dead. Don't call me, I'll call you. One big pile of rocks. They must weigh a ton each.
The shattered skull of a long-deceased miner looked up at Jenny.
Poor guy. Was somebody's dad. He was still alive and no one came to help him. I never got to say goodbye.
Jenny knew exactly how that felt.
The Council of Three blamed the workers to protect their secret.
Jenny folded up the letter and placed it in her pocket.
I'll find your family, Samuel, and deliver it to them personally. And I won't rest until the whole town knows the truth. I can see a light up there.
But the ladder was out of reach. Fragments of quartz crystal littered the room.
They're beautiful.
She held one in her hands.
It'd be a good souvenir if it wasn't so heavy. Another cave-in, another dead end. Structurally unsound, just like everything else around here. There are 2 minecarts attached together by a system of pulleys. After all these tremors, I'm amazed they're still hanging up there.
Like a well-oiled machine, Jenny LeClue's brilliant mind kicked into gear. A plan had started to form.
How can I reach the ladder? That doesn't quite add up. Let me give this some more thought. Nope, that's not what I meant. Let me try that again. I can stand on the minecart to reach the ladder. But first, I need to get it down. And I know exactly how to do it. minecart is connected to a pulley. When I jumped inside, it lowered, but it didn't reach the floor. First, I'll climb to the top of the rickety scaffolding. Then I'll jump in the minecart with my pockets full of crystals. The extra weight will carry me all the way to the floor. At the bottom, I'll climb out and push the minecart underneath the ladder. Finally, I'll use the added height to reach the ladder. Then it's a straight shot to freedom. Maybe I need more crystals. I can't fit any more crystals in my pockets. Hopefully this will be enough. Didn't that work? Something's holding me back. Another transmitter on Glatt's core property. Susie denied her family's involvement, but I can't imagine they don't know about this.
Jenny opened her eyes and rubbed her aching head.
How long was I out for?
Things hadn't quite gone according to plan.
I guess my calculations were slightly off.
Fortunately, Jenny found herself in a familiar place.
This is the tunnel where I first came in.
Unfortunately, someone else had heard the commotion.
Time to go. Here goes nothing.
Welcome back, S32. Access level Z Alpha granted. Disarming blast door 13A. For your safety, please stand clear.
Jenny paused. She was finally here. Could it be true? Was her father really on the other side of this door? The man she'd lost forever. She would have given anything to bring him back. What would she say to him? How would she feel when she saw him? Of all the puzzles she'd solved, every obstacle she'd climbed, and every leap of faith she'd made, this was the scariest moment of all.
Mom should be here.
She needed her. She needed someone. Maybe even Susie.
I'm not gonna solve anything by just standing here.
Arthurton had slowly revealed its secrets to Jenny, and now she faced the final chapter. Gathering her courage, she took a deep breath
This is it, Jenny.
and stepped into the darkness once more.
Dad?
Her voice echoed in the darkness.
Another dead end. Of course he's not here.
Just another machine.
Arthurton, a small town seemingly like any other. Nestled in a valley between two mountains, lined by lustrous forests, and perched on the edge of a pristine lake. Yes, Arthurton had it all. A main street with shops and a place to sip coffee. Schools, a college, a church, and a police station. The kind of place you might find anywhere on your travels. But you won't find it anymore, for Arthurton is now the town that disappeared. Where once stood a city bustling with life, now lies an empty crater. How could a town suddenly and completely vanish from the face of the earth? And if it could happen to Atherton, could it happen to your town too? Scientists are baffled. Church attendance is at a record high. Is this a sign of the end of days? Tonight we attempt to answer the question, what happened to Atherton? The Enigma Report investigation starts now.
Jenny stared at the screen, astonished.
Arthurton disappeared?
It didn't make any sense. But of all the strange things she'd seen, one stood out more than the others.
There was something at the end of the tape. There! There's something hidden in the static. It worked. Find Zazer. Need help? I better get out of here before I'm crushed to death! Know what you've done. Show your face, you coward! Get away from me, you creep! I'm not scared of you! You take one more step!
Into a corner, with nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Was this the end for Jenny LeClue? Jenny choked back her tears. She had lost count of the number of times she'd almost died today, and it was starting to take its toll.
Let's get out of here before he wakes up! No, wait! Keith, this could be the man who killed your father. We should really go. This could be our only chance to find out who he is. It won't matter if we're buried alive. Don't you want to know?
It doesn't matter.
What?
Look!
Damn it! Let's get out of here. That's what I've been saying! The truth is no good if we're dead. I said that, too!
It doesn't matter who said what. Let's go already!
Our three intrepid adventurers made their escape across the graveyard on the far side of town. Behind the twin peaks of Arthurton, the sun began to rise, but this night had not yet ended. Beneath them, the ground shook and grumbled. Deep in the bowels of Arthurton, something stirred. Jenny recounted the thrilling story of her entire adventure. She told Susie and Keith about Professor Zaza and his experiments, the truth behind the tragic accident in the mines, and how she discovered that her father was alive. But she left out one critical detail: the town that disappeared. How would they react to such an unfathomable revelation? Would they even believe her? She wasn't sure she believed it herself.
What an incredible adventure! Although, I think the greatest discovery today has been our friendship.
You never stop, do you?
All these trials have really brought us together. And now that you and Keith are friends again, we can form our very own mystery-solving club. It's just a shame we didn't unmask the man in black. So what's our next step, fearless leader?
There's something about this case that still doesn't add up. I need to find my mom, before the cops do.
But she could be anywhere.
No, she's gone to Widow's Drop.
Where?
Widow's Drop. But I have no idea where that is.
It's certainly not on any map I've seen.
That's because it's not a place.
What?
Yeah. It's a plant. My dad he grew one in his greenhouse. He had to separate it from all the other plants. They all started to shrivel up.
Have you ever felt a flash of pure inspiration? The sudden feeling of everything falling into place. It's the moment a great detective lives for. An epiphany!
Keith, what day do you take out the trash?
What?
What day does the garbage man come?
Friday? Why?
Of course! It was right there the whole time! Jenny! I know where my mom is.
Jenny!
And I know who killed Dean Strasberry. Jenny! Look out! Jenny, watch out! We survived!
Yeah! We made it!
I have to go back.
Go back?
But we just got out!
A little birdie told me I'd find 3 unruly kids out after curfew.
Oh
no! Damn.
Stealing, breaking and entering, destruction of property. You're all in a heap of trouble. Jenny, can't say I'm surprised to find you here. But Keith, Susie, I expected more from you.
I'm ruined!
This is Station. Are you there?
Go ahead, Station.
Susie, Keith, I need you to create a distraction.
What?
There's no time to explain.
Where are you going?
You'll just have to trust me.
Okay.
No.
Susie, please.
No. Not unless you say it.
Say what?
After everything we've been through, you know it's true.
What are you talking about? Now is hardly the time for this.
You told me to stand up for myself, so that's what I'm doing.
Hold on a second. Enough chatter. Get your sorry butts over here now!
We depend on each other. Admit it, Jenny.
Come on, Jenny. It's not a big deal. Just say it.
This is your last warning. I am not going to tell you again.
Of all the challenges our tiny hero had faced, this was perhaps her toughest.
You aren't alone, Jenny LeClue. You don't need to pretend anymore.
As hard as it was to say it, Jenny knew deep in her heart it was true.
Fine. Susie Glatz, you are my friend.
Thank you, friend. Now, let's get you out of here.
Yeah, I've got him. Safe and sound. I'm bringing him in now. What the?
You'll never catch us, Copper!
Sorry, Mr. LeClue.
Well, do you have them or not?
I thought I did. Where did she go?
My head.
Thank goodness. It worked.
Oh, how wonderful to hear your voice. I was having the strangest dreams. What's wrong?
I almost didn't make it.
But you did. Now, we've got a lot of work to do.
I knew it!
Jenny?
Jenny?
Surprised to see me?
What is she?
How did you...
It was really quite simple. Once I realized Mr. Strasberry knew he was going to die, at 3:57 p.m. precisely. In his planner, I noted that he had cancelled his meetings on Friday and rearranged a lunch date with Keith. At the time, this didn't strike me as unusual. Once I considered the possibility that Mr. Stroudsbury knew he was going to die on Thursday, everything started to fall into place. But consider this. If someone knew they were going to die, wouldn't they do everything in their power to escape their fate? And yet, the Dean didn't. There was only one explanation. He staged his own death. It's no secret that the Dean is an avid gardener. But some people might not know he authored a book about exotic plants and their natural remedies. In the university lab, I found a microscope that had been recently used. The remnants of a strange green liquid undulated on the slide. I would guess the very same liquid Mom just injected into the Dean's neck. You knew how you were going to die, Mr. Stroudsbury. Poison. You knew because you made it yourself from one of your plants. A poison that you had an antidote for. That would be the method, but you couldn't work alone. You needed an accomplice. Someone to revive you when the time was right. In the basement of my house, on my dad's old dusty desk, I found a recently used vial. The residue was purple, the same color as the marks on the Dean's neck. This whole time, I thought Mom had met Mr. Stroudsbury at Widow's Drop. But Widow's Drop isn't a place. It's a plant. The plant you extracted the poison from. You plotted together to stage Mr. Stroudsbury's death. It was a simple scheme. Poison him with the plant, then return after the funeral to revive him. You had intended the death to appear natural, but not everything went according to plan. After the poison was administered, the Dean intended to give Mom his ring. But he accidentally dropped it, and he got stuck in the electrified track of the ladder. When he bent down to retrieve it, he was electrocuted and thrown from the balcony. The Dean instinctively reached out for something to stop himself from falling, but all he managed to grab was the ID card hanging around Mom's neck. Once she realized it was gone, she returned to collect it, but I had already found it. Even the smartest criminals make mistakes. Getting caught hadn't been part of the plan.
Quite remarkable, Jenny. And you worked out all that by yourself?
Yes, that's how you did it, but the real question is why?
Well, that's all a bit more complicated, I'm afraid.
It was a rhetorical question, Mr. Stroudsbury. I know why you're working together. But first, I have to tell you about aliens.
Oh, this is exciting. What an incredible adventure this turned out to be. Jenny's growing up and discovering her full potential. And to think, I did it all without anybody dying. Hello? Richard! Oh, what do you think of the new scenes? Aren't they wonderful? I beg your pardon? Trick you? Certainly not. But don't you see? It all works out perfectly this way. I can already picture where the next book will start. You're not serious? But I didn't promise anything. But there must be another way. Just give me more time. Cancelled? Richard, please. Richard? Hello? Hello? It's no good. They won't publish it unless someone dies. But I can't do it. I just can't. Come on, Arthur. Jenny's whole world hangs in the balance. Decades of work. It can't all end now. Oh, I have to. It's like Jenny's mom always says. A great detective knows the right decision is often the hardest to make. And I am a great author of detective stories. But I can't pick. What should I do, Rufus? Brilliant! Yes! You're always right, old friend. I'll let fate decide. Here goes. Fate has spoken, but is she certain? Once the choice is made, there's no turning back. Wait, Jenny wasn't an option, was she? Oh, Rufus, I think I need to lie down.
As I was saying...
What was that?
No more interruptions!
The tremors were getting more violent and more frequent.
Please! I'm in the middle of my astonishing denouement! Everyone in town thinks CJ is crazy. A madman spouting wild theories about aliens and hidden forces at work in Arthurton. But all the strange phenomena he's seen are real. And the culprits are men, not monsters. Atherton is built on top of some kind of energy source. Something special. I uncovered the secret laboratories of Professor Zazer. He ran experiments to study the unique properties of Atherton's resource. And his research was funded by a shady organization called the Council of Three. One of the experiments went tragically wrong and caused the collapse of the quartz mines. They covered it up and blamed the miners, and yet the experiments didn't stop. Instead, they built an even bigger facility. Years after the accident in the mines, an even greater tragedy struck Atherton. Only this time, the townspeople didn't know. I don't fully understand it, but something happened to the whole town. And wherever we were, we aren't there anymore. The rest of the world think we disappeared. At first, I thought I was solving two separate mysteries. But then it hit me like a ton of used books. The two were inextricably linked. And that's how I know your motive for staging the Dean's death. Working for the university. He was working on Zazer's machines. All under the watchful eye of the Council of Three. The Dean is part of the Council of Three, or at least he works for them. His ring hides a key to access secret stations around town. Through her own investigation, Mom concluded that Dad had died under suspicious circumstances. She confronted the Dean. Racked with guilt, he confessed and begged for her forgiveness. Instead of letting anger cloud her judgment, Mom saw an opportunity. And together, you concocted a plan to bring down the organization from the inside.
Oh, what a brilliant mind you have, Jenny LeClue. Julie, I believe you underestimated this girl.
You could have gotten yourself killed.
But I didn't.
But what if you had?
I'm not a kid anymore. I have to make my own choices.
A flower cannot blossom without light.
Jenny had risked everything to save her mom.
I'm sorry, Jenny.
It's okay, Mom. You were running out of time to save Mr. Strasberry.
I was trying to protect you.
I know.
I should have trusted you.
But you were wrong.
I just apologized.
No, not about that. Everyone presumed Dad died in the lab explosion. So did I, until today. But then, I started finding secret messages all over town. They led me to a secret room under the graveyard. And there, on a small television, I saw him.
Henry?
Dad is alive! But he's trapped on the other side, and he's been trying to contact us this whole time.
He made it back? Then the experiment worked!
Exactly!
But if he made it back, that means...
We can all get back! We need to get to the machine, right away.
No! First, we need to find Professor Zazer.
What? Who? Oh, I must have dozed off. Perhaps we need a spot of tea to wake us up. What do you say, Rufus? Yes, quite right. Better get back to work. This book won't write itself. Maybe I should start somewhere easier. I'll come back to the prologue later. The sun rose over another perfect day in picturesque Arthurton. To the casual observer, Arthurton seemed like any other small, quiet town. It was nestled in a valley between two mountains, lined by lustrous forests, and perched on the edge of a pristine lake. It had a main street with all the essentials, including a place to sip coffee. It had schools, a college, a church, and a police station. It even had a museum no one ever visited. It was the kind of place you might find anywhere on your travels. Typical, maybe even forgettable. But there was one thing in Arthurton that was unlike any other town in the whole world. Actually, it was a girl. Her name was Jenny LeClue, and she was the world's greatest detective. Finkelstein residence. Oh, hello, Glenda. Yes, he said he might ring. Okay, patch me through then. Richard? Yes, I got it. I did, and my answer is no. I understand that, but... Well, yes, of course, but... No. Nothing is settled. I'm not going to do it. It goes against everything my books stand for. No, not yet, but... If I could just... Please, listen to what I'm saying. You don't understand what you're asking for. You want me to turn Jenny's world upside down? Kill off my characters and destroy everything I've built over the last 30 years? Fine. I'll give you what you want. But I warn you, I'm a stream of consciousness writer, and you have unleashed my fury. Good day, sir. Boring? Predictable? Pah! Well, if it's murder they want, it's murder they'll get. It should have been another perfect day in Arthurton. But today was different, and nothing would ever be the same again. To begin with, Jenny LeClue was dead. Her skin was pale, her eyes glassy and frozen. What cruel fate had befallen our beloved detective?
No, no, no! Never move the victim!
Mrs. LeClue, she's doing it again.
Jenny LeClue, you are a dead body. Dead bodies don't talk.
But he's doing it wrong!
As wonderful as it would be if all cadavers were so talkative, we must deduce the cause of death without their help. With only the evidence laid before us, we build a picture from the fragments left behind. We collect clues, interpret the data, and solve our puzzle one piece at a time, until it feels as if the victim is speaking to us. But Jenny is right, Jonathan. You mustn't disturb the crime scene. Vital evidence could be lost.
Sorry, Mrs. LeClue.
Okay, you've all had a chance to study the body? Who can postulate how she met her demise?
Ooh! Me! I think it was an accident?
Yeah, she obviously wasn't looking where she was going
So she slipped on the wet floor,
and cracked her head open. Like an egg.
and then she bled to death.
Really? How can you tell?
Well, there's a giant pool of blood around her head.
Yeah, I know. I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
Actually, you're both wrong.
What?
It was cold-blooded murder.
Murder?
Don't be ridiculous.
Where's the murder weapon?
There's no evidence anyone else was even here.
Oh yes, there is. It was murder, and I can prove it.
Jenny had read all the books. She'd absorbed all her mother's teachings. But there was nothing quite like getting your hands dirty.
How many people get the chance to solve their own murder?
The first step in any good deduction was collecting evidence. Seemingly insignificant details could provide a vital piece of the puzzle.
First, I'll search the crime scene for clues.
Then she'd analyze the data. And finally,
Deduce the real cause of death. What a waste of perfectly good coffee.
Jenny's love for coffee was almost as strong as her passion for crime solving.
Chalky green residue on the rim. Smells like burnt matches. There's no doubt the victim lost a lot of blood. The victim has a green smudge on her lips. It's not lipstick.
Without her trusty bifocals, Jenny couldn't see the nose in front of her face. They were her window to the world and the lens through which she focused her keen detective vision. It wasn't Jenny's style to wear accessories, but this hair clip was the exception. Its function as a lockpick had saved Jenny from a long night trapped in her school locker. She'd worn it ever since.
The floor is wet and slippery, but also immaculately clean. Approximately 8 sizes too big, and covered in mud.
Jenny's blue sweater was scruffy and quite uncomfortable, but her grandmother had knitted it, and so it was her favorite. The more it itched, the closer she felt to her.
I've seen enough. Time to wrap this case up.
Jenny was a meticulous record keeper, noting every relevant clue in her trusty journal. A great detective knew that solving a mystery was simply a matter of connecting the dots.
I'm certain this wasn't a mere accident. Now I just need to prove it. How do I know the victim didn't slip? The victim's boots are filthy. They should have left big muddy footprints on the floor. So where are they? Either someone washed away her footprints, or she was carried here. Okay, that proves she didn't slip. So how did she actually die?
What was the real cause of death?
There's a green residue in the bottom of the victim's coffee cup. It smells of burnt matches. Phosphorus. Also found in common garden fertilizer. The same green mark is on the victim's lips. Her coffee was spiked with fertilizer. Someone clearly wanted her dead. Ah, the case of the dead lab assistant. Gone before her time. Was it poison? Yes. A blow to the head? Yes. An accident? Certainly not. No footprints in an unshattered mug? She was killed somewhere else and carried here. This is the story of a scorned ex-lover.
Jenny?
A gardener enacting his revenge.
Jenny!
A deadly brew of fertilizer and caffeine coursing through the veins.
That's quite enough, thank you.
What happens to the gardener?
Is this gonna be on the test?
Remember, class, even the smartest criminals make mistakes. This is how we catch a killer.
But what's the point of all this?
Yeah, there hasn't been a murder in Arthurton in years.
Every town has a dark side, even Arthurton. By doubting, we are led to question. And by questioning, we arrive at the truth. Okay, that's all for today. Don't forget, next class is our field trip to the morgue. So have a light lunch. The students need to think for themselves, Jenny. That's why they're here at Gumboldt. To learn.
I just figured we all had places to go. Speaking of which...
And where are you off to, young lady?
I'm a dead body mom, remember? Dead bodies don't tell. See ya!
Wait, before you go, I have something for you.
Cool! What is it?
If I told you, that would spoil the fun, wouldn't it?
The LeClues didn't simply hand each other presents. They hid them. It was a family tradition, and Jenny had developed a sixth sense for finding them. With her trusty magnifying glass at her side, nothing eluded her.
A new journal!
To Jenny, there was nothing better than the aroma of a fresh leather notebook. It smelled like mystery. Without missing a beat, she did what any detective worth their salt would do. She decorated it. A new journal meant new adventures. She imagined all the thrilling cases that would soon fill its pages. And on the first page, her mother had written an inscription.
A great detective never gives up. Love, Mom. I love it. Thanks, Mom.
Jenny, I wanted to talk about, to say,
Somewhere in the back of Jenny's highly caffeinated brain, an alarm bell was ringing. Her mum was hesitating. What could be causing her to act so out of character?
Crossed arms, furrowed brow.
Jenny saw it coming from a mile away. Her mother was about to get
Emotional. I've really gotta go.
No, Jenny, wait. I need your help.
What? Really?
Jenny couldn't believe her ears. It was extremely unusual for her mother to ask for help. It must be something very important. Tracing the steps of a deranged killer? A cold case that only someone with Jenny's expertise could solve?
I've misplaced the students' essays on decapitation. See if you can find them for me before you leave. I have to run.
Wow, the case of the misplaced papers. Are you sure you want to trust me with such a complex task?
I have no doubt you'll be able to find them. They're around here somewhere.
Jenny was unsure if her mother was unable to detect sarcasm or just really good at ignoring it.
What's the point? They're all gonna fail anyway.
A great detective learns the most valuable lessons from their biggest failures.
I really can't, Mom. I've got somewhere to be. People are depending on me.
I have somewhere to be too, and I'm depending on you to find those papers.
Have you considered how these menial chores might be affecting my sense of self-worth? Is this really the act of a responsible mother?
Jenny LeClue.
That was her mother's code for enough is enough.
Fine, I'll find them.
Good. Find the papers and go straight home.
But I'm meeting Keith tonight.
No buts, remember?
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm still feeling the effects of being poisoned for your class.
Well then, I have the perfect antidote. You're staying with your cousin this weekend, and you still need to pack.
This again? Look, I've considered your offer, Mom, and I'm going to have to decline. I'm old enough to take care of myself.
I'll be back late tonight. There's meatloaf in the fridge.
Late again? What are you up to?
Jenny LeClue, it's been a difficult week. Could you please just do what you're told for once and stop asking questions?
Fine.
And try to stay out of trouble.
When do I ever get into trouble? All right, let's find these papers and get out of here.
One of Jenny's earliest memories was making raspberry jam with her mum.
It's the perfect substitute for blood in class demonstrations. And better tasting than the pig's blood the textbook recommends. Looking rather trim today, Ethan. New diet? What's the matter? Lost your funny bone? Please do not touch. Someone must be running an experiment. Gross. Pretty soon it's gonna sprout legs.
Becoming a great detective took more than book smarts. You needed real-life experience. And Jenny was always on the lookout for a chance to get her hands dirty.
one of the students' term papers. You can tell by the terrible handwriting and erroneous conclusions. Mom must have put them behind the chalkboard. Found you. Time to get out of here.
Jenny looked around the room one last time. Was she ready to leave? Okay, so she wasn't really dead. That would be silly. No, Jenny was alive and well and ready for another perfect day in Arthurton.